You know, how do you get around that? Just watching all the games?
I think
streams open?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to watch all the games, but at least prepare, for the opponent that you have ahead of you, or the two opponents you have ahead of you, and try to read them. And in general, it's not really like pro players can watch streams. You can watch streams during the game, evidently, as we've seen recently. No, but studying replays is a big thing. You need to definitely prep for specific teams, but that's where it's difficult, right? Just blindly watching a replay, like sitting there and just staring at it, you might not get any useful information. You really need the type of analytical mind that not every Dota player at the top level is super analytical for how to break down a team of 5. You need someone in the team or multiple people in the team who are good at that, so you can find little nuggets of wisdom how you're going to approach the game. Because then you have players who maybe not the most analytical, but extremely good at executing and performing, dominating their lanes or doing other things. Dota is a very vast game. So many things you can excel at.
Hey, you've got the button clickers. It's like it's like poker, right? You've got the button clickers who are very good at sort of tempering their emotions, knowing what to do. They're getting trained. But they've all got got these backers, these coaches, all these people making sure they know what they're up to, practicing certain scenarios. That's why we've got looking at Tundra with AUI, looking at all these teams with these massive coaches do exceptionally well, bringing in mental health specialists as well, just to make sure you've got that emotional side down, get the mental game strong. Especially in a tournament where the prize money, again, just dipping back into this, that is something where, you get on stage and potentially just have this wave of emotion come over you, like, wait a second, I'm here playing for $5 million as first place prize. It's pretty nutty, but it looks like we are ready to get underway. Game 1, best of 2 play-ins about to begin for the Riyadh Masters and OG against Quest Esports. We'll find out what the draft actually tells us as it should unfold right before our very eyes.
Yeah, I believe starting just now, Quest versus OG. I mean, we're in the lobby, of course, so we can see it. They're banning heroes, Gareth.
Yeah, we've got it. Snappy Snap is out. That's of course Noob's signature hero, very professional from that mid lane on the Snapfire. Venomancer up against OG though.
It's good respect to ban out Noob's Snapfire. He even did really well against Nisha's Ember Spirit on this. I was actually studying a replay of that yesterday, just watching how Noob was performing in laning stage and like severely out CSing Nisha and winning that lane. So good target ban. They also ban out the Broodmother themselves on the side of OG here. Don't want to play it. Of course, there's no Amara anymore in Quest, but still, Broodmother is a very dominating and oppressive hero. She changes how you need to approach the game.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what we see for all these heroes that are getting removed now. Veno and Enigma, two heroes that similarly can make it very difficult to play certain styles of Dota.
Yeah, that Enigma position 5 has been rising and rising. I was covering the Middle East Northern African qualifiers where we had that Team Secret Middle East squad come in. With that puppy position 5 Enigma just crushing everybody. It got banned out like every game by Quest in the grand finals. They know it's a rough one to play into. We still do go into lane domination though. Undying the first pick from OG. Just secure yourself, a good solid all-round hero. Not going to give too much away. And you've got options now to still go for your Morphling or whatever it might be.
Yeah, very stock standard opening here. I think Morphling will be just slightly lower priority than we have seen previously with the E-patch nerfing him a little bit. It wasn't a massive nerf. Mainly it was the Aghanim Scepter that got nerfed, and speaking to a level 30 Morphling spammer recently, he just said, well, just don't buy Aghanims, It's simple. So the hero can definitely still be strong, but I think he will just be a little bit later pickup. Now, the Rubik, of course, very standard as well, very usual lane dominating hero that kind of scales very well into stealing spells later and deals pretty well with Undying. If you ever steal Tombstone, that's fantastic. And he's a ranged hero, so you can hit that Tombstone as well. Darkseer, though, interesting pickup here from Quest. I feel like an early Darkseer is so hard to play. Now, OG have a lot of time to, shield against that Darkseer pick.
Yeah, like I was looking at this thinking it's pretty cool where it sort of block picks out these early, Undying partners, right? With Undying, you're thinking that, Morphling, Drow, TB, whatever, ranged Agi, Illusionish carry. And Darkseer says, no, not really. Does force the hand of OG to go Faceless Void.
Yeah, so you get time dilation here, very good against Darkseer, and the lane is hard to shut down Undying Void, but it is a double melee hero lane if you're gonna run this, and probably this is the reason I want to pick Darkseer though. They see Undying and think, you know what, Undying bullies a lot of heroes, but he doesn't bully Darkseer that well. You can surge and run away, and you don't really mind that much the decay spam since you're just iron shelling creeps and pushing lane anyway. So maybe it's a smart approach by Quest, but this Void sets up for big combos here for OG, so definitely in second ban phase here, Quest have to respect that, get rid of something. Gonna start by banning out the Ember though.
I get rid of those pesky BZM heroes. He's done so well on the Ember Spirit in the past.
Yeah, he's fantastic at playing Ember, but I also would worry about him playing something like his Invoker here. If you let that slip through, I mean, Invoker and Faceless Void in the same team is very nice, and BCM, one of the best Quas-Wex Invokers there are in the world, I would say. He's extremely good at it.
It's just like his depth of hero pool is so hard to ban against. Like, you pick a hero here and there, but he's always going to come out of something. I'm wondering how important Wind Ranger is going to be again for OG. You know, it's a hero that's looked reasonably strong recently. Oh, there's another one, Meepo gone. But you've got the fact that Seb and BZM, they both play it. They grabbed it in multiple roles. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, I feel OG is the Wind Ranger type team. They enjoy it in different positions, and she is versatile right now. I definitely think she's a pretty strong pickup, and possibly could be a hero in this game. We'll see what they want to go for. Quest, they ban out the Doom. The Meepo ban is funny, Meepo has really started trending with the Rod of Atos build. People playing it a lot on the post 3. But when you see the Darkseer picked like this, they're more respecting like the possibility of it being a core Meepo, let's say, not on the offlane, which is not really how it's being played too much.
It's like the map is so open for him. He's just like farming camps with Meepos, dragging waves. I think it was watching a Weeha replay the other day, and just the amount of stuff he can do with just Rod of Atos running around causing havoc is incredibly annoying.
Yeah, the map, I mean, it's the same reason why Naga is strong, and they actually did ban Naga as well, so they're similar mentality here. The heroes that can use the great space on the map without really taking away farm from your own team that badly anymore. The thing about having Naga in your team before, or Meepo, is that they would choke out your team as well while, farming everything. It's like nothing on the map to take. But now there are always camps, it's just a matter of where. I've never seen the entire map be absolutely cleared, ever since the 40% increase, or 20% increase, I guess, of the map. Like, every single camp farmed just never happens. Somewhere there is farm.
Yeah. There's some kobold out there with a little goblet full of blood.
There's always something, Gareth.
I'm out there. Oh, a Shadow Demon.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, this is like an old school response to Faceless Void. You've got the save with Disruption into Chrono. Demonic Purge, not too bad against him either.
They played this before. They actually played it in the game that I was studying as well, in the series I studied. They played the Rubik and S together. I'm not a fan of the two heroes together. I feel like it's a little bit clunky as a double support, but they did run that together with a Terrorblade before, with the Shadow Demon being able to use defensive disruption, but also getting those strong illusions. And look at OG. They react by saying Lion. This Lion is not only because it's kind of good already in their team and like fit pretty well, it's preemptive. It's saying, okay, you pick SD, you're probably going illusion carry. We pick Lion now, anticipating it, able to burst the illusions with both the Hex and the Mana Drain. Love this pick.
That's real smart. Hey, you're going to go TB or, I don't know, Lunar or something? Nah, we've got the line already. And they've got the double pick as well, so they can actually decide if there's going to be the lane partner that goes along with it, or the Invoker that you called for earlier, Nostradamus, Wagamama, a couple of picks ahead of the trend.
Yeah, I mean, they got in the second phase. I think Quest's bans were still very solid. I mean, all strong things, but it does mean that he slipped through. And now that Invoker and Lion, you got great chain disable here on the side of as well. Give space for the Void to farm. Quest need a threat right now. Right now, they have this Darkseer, Rubik, ST. They need to show big hero. Going to the tempo hero, or are they going to...
Yeah, I mean, it's like tempo hero from mid, right? You're like looking at Storm Spirit or something. It feels like they need gap close, that tempo, some ability to start fights. Rubik and Shadow Demon, often I feel like they're very good playing from Fog and reactively, but they don't want to be walking up a ramp and showing themselves and saying, hey, what's up?
Yeah, that's a hero. I like it. It's a pretty clean TA game. Definitely a pretty clean TA game that you can go for here. And I suppose that TA, it's not the illusion here necessarily to pair up with the SD. Bursts can actually keep TA alive sometimes and be very useful. So this way of drafting is still pretty nice. I love seeing this pickup here.
Yeah, one thing that quests do not lack is chase. With Surge and all the slows from traps and catch from Rubik, if they find a target and they get on top of them, they can chase them down until the bitter end.
The problem is they have great chase, but how do they kill Void right now? Like, Faceless Void is difficult to kill. Look at their lockdown. They have Rubik Telekinesis. Maybe he steals a good spell, but even if he does, SD doesn't have anything really to lock down the Faceless Void. You can ulti him, but he can still time walk around. Darkseid doesn't provide it really. I guess if you can get normal punch, maybe TA gets shard, but they're very low on control speed in the chase though. But a little bit concerned for the way their lineup is shaping up overall.
Is this TA flexible? Because my first thought was, TA against Invoke, and then I remember J2 playing
is my instinct seeing this.
And OG thinking the same way as well. Primal Beast and Puck removed.
Yeah, they're banning out the space creating heroes, because if you pick a this patch is pretty greedy, but you lose all say about where Chip OG running the show entirely, and you just kind of ride the waves, but that's going to be tough. So I definitely think this is going to be a carry TA. And
Bat, Beastmaster, Doom, and
they could go for Viper even. I mean, Viper isn't that good against the Darks here with the Surge later on, but if they want to destroy the lane, if they want to take over, they can do that.
Hey!
Okay.
It's the big boy.
Yeah, they're leaning into a Faceless this combo. I am a Core Ogre here? That's a lot of fun.
Oh, and we're going to see a tiny mid lane. Something I've not seen in a while. And during the Bali Major, he came back as a position 4 quite a bit. And it's this thing with Dota, right? One player plays it pos. I think it was FY played it pos 4. Then Snaking does it, and knowledge and want of the players to grab the tiny up. Now he's heading back into mid.
Yeah, this is shaping up to be a very good game. I like the tiny ad here. They needed something to burst people, something they can play around and try to get early kills on the Lion or Undying in the team fights, even possibly jump the Invoker. This is pretty even, I want to say. I don't really feel like one team has a clear edge in the draft. I think OG's team is a little bit easier to play out, but the big question mark is that offlane Ogre. How well is DM going to perform on it? Are they very confident in this? I'm excited, man. We'll see what they bring out here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've seen a little bit of that core Ogre come out from like Collapse on Team Spirit. I think there was a couple of Chinese players as well. I don't know if LGD were playing it, if my memory serves me correctly. It's been pretty normal, like Pub Ogre, Handamidas, Crimson Guard was the build a few months ago. I don't know, have you seen it in your pubs? Is there something that people bang out?
People have experimented with it. I haven't seen too many people be very successful with it. It's interesting now that he has the dumb luck thing, right? The strength giving you extra multicast thing. Some people just go way into that. I had Sing Sing doing some stuff on that. I don't know if we should talk about it. He had 4 Reavers.
Kaya Sanj.
No, not triple heart, just 4 Reavers.
Oh.
He didn't even have what aura and buffing. I mean, Solar Crest is a great option. I think Solar Crest is fantastic on Ogre because you can apply it on multiple enemies, multicast that, and you ignite as well, and you basically stop the enemy. You put them all at a halt. So if I was to do offlane Ogre, I think Midas maybe, and then definitely Solar Crest.
Yeah, see how your lane goes. I mean, potentially, you know, we still see like the Vanguard Arcanes as like starting items. Make sure you... It depends how the lane goes. We've had this from offlaners a lot recently where it's like, think about Ring of Health. Am I winning? Am I losing? Am I going to get to a point where this Vanguard's going to be useful? Is Midas going to be handy for me? We'll find out what he's going to be up to, though. DM on the Ogre as we head into game one shortly. Looks like we've got a little bit of a pause. We'll get things sorted out as we get ourselves into this first match of the day. These two squads, I was absolutely ready and waiting to say that I think OG is the squad that's easier to execute. Looks very, very much my style with the Ogre caveman going around punching people, Chrono into sun.
And quest side as well. Otherwise, if there was no TA there, I would say easily OG game, right? But you know, I'm biased for my girl. It's how it goes.
Easily favored. I mean, yeah, as a TA fan, what's with TA? Because I cannot get a read on when players want to go blink, when they want to go death. Is it just like tempo or player preference?
It's so incredibly game dependent for me. Also, if you're pos 1 or pos 2, it's like a great thing, right? Mid, you want to be a little bit more tempo playing. Carry, you really want to accelerate your farm. He's probably going to go for just very stock standard, just Deso and Dragonlance rush here, I would assume. Probably not going to see any super early blink, but just rushing into that and then maybe even getting the BKB straight after. We'll see. He's against the Chronosphere though, so could be complicated.
That makes sense. I'll get themselves out on the map. Quest all smoked up. And OG readying themselves down near that bottom bounty rune spot. Oh, it would have been so great to have a 5v5 clash to kick off the Riyadh Masters, but it looks like
who's gonna die first? Who's gonna go down? Nobody wants to be the feeder, Gareth.
No, you definitely don't. I don't know what that line drawn is there by the lion. Seb is saying, "Oh, we're gonna smoke late. 30 seconds till Horn, and they're gonna go up towards the Dire Ancients and try and wrap around. BZM gets a late ward down, which isn't spotted." Interesting tactic here. I mean, yeah, okay, OG, they're going to actually block up the Ancients camp as well.
Yeah, that's prepping for the TA, of course, making sure not going to be able to get easy Ancient early. And even though they go for this move, they're not going to find anything. Look at that double ward commitment. These two wards cover the same area, basically. I mean, I guess if one gets dewarded, you have a refund on, you got the backup ward. But it's a bit excessive, mid-vision.
Yeah, it is. That's pretty wild. We'll be able to keep tabs on where this Tiny's heading, what runes he's getting. And yeah, like we said, the stacks of the Ancients and what's happening over there. Noob Tiny in the mid lane. So he's got double treads queued up, as is normal. You can go back to the Dota 1 days. This is the build on Tiny and Sniper, just to buy 6 treads.
Yep. Only treads. That was pretty much a starting build, and people learning Dota.
Easy item to pick up. On top lane, TA2000 already taking a bit of a hammering there. Ignite, one hell of a spell.
Yeah, it's pretty good, but look at that disruption actually doing a little bit of work as well over time, getting some damage done.
Yeah, it's one of those spells that doesn't feel like it does much the first second or two, and then oh wait, it adds up, starts chipping away at them. Kaori gonna have to fall back and salve. TA2000 gathering up what CS he can. Down at bottom we do have this Darkseer Rubik lane. Main just get level 3 as fast as possible, and that's where Tiger and Yuragi in their situation down here as Undying just going to get up in their faces, get a bit of harassment in, but a good courier snipe by Omar.
Yeah, he gets the snipe there. Nice harassment. I mean, Omar has a pretty free lane here because mainly the Undying has to try and focus. Top, we see more trades over and over, just this Ignite spam. Could definitely do with some lane centers here as well, because you can meld dodge the Ignites. So having one sentry for a lane could be useful here.
That's pretty clever, yeah. And DM gonna have to bring out some mangoes or something. Does have some 1 charges. Running a little low on mana, and he does have that Vanguard queued. On that mid lane, Wraithbound up on the Invoker, going into the Exort.
Yeah, I mean, he does have Void on his team, so it makes sense that he's going Exort. It's just interesting to me. Omar in trouble?
Zombies on him, tries to lift up Yuragi, but the damage coming too quickly. First blood for the Faceless Void. That Tombstone well positioned by Tiger, now allowing them to go back onto the Darks here. He'll get himself to tower and salve up. A little spooky with a zombie there.
You know, this is what you pay for when you pick the Undying. The first pick, you know, gets the first blood. It's basically, well, he secures the first blood for his carry, even better. But Undying, such a strong lane bully. He really always secures some kills. Yeah, and Yuragi can be happy with 10 CS, but even happier is the TA with her 15 right now. So top lane working out really well.
Quite a bit of farm. So nothing that he can do.
He's got to chase him down effectively. More
support by die. Classic, just run away from. Yeah. Man, I've missed. Okay, with.
Yeah. I do too. Every day, man. At least it's the
He blocks up top. DM poison. But this is the big boy. This is the ogre who cannot be touched. Still plenty of one charges, and under his tower should regen with that ring of health.
Yeah,
a little bit of pressure
coming in, controlling top rune. Noob going for the bottom rune.
Yeah, and down at bottom, Malik fighting away. Bottom rune spot, Noob getting pretty low here with the Forge Spirit and the Cold Snap. One more touch coming in. Oh, the Forge Spirit missed uphill. I'm not sure if that would have actually taken him down with bottle refills coming in between hits. But Noob looking worse for wear.
Yeah, I think he would have survived, but he would still be in equally bad position here. He's actually going a TP mid from the SD here to give him a salve and a tango. And passing salves, I mean, it doesn't do that much anymore. Look at Tiny's HP. It's still below 50% after a salve completes. It's just not what it used to be, but it's what they needed. He wishes he could get a bottle refill there, but that was not a TP from base.
Yeah, on my mini-map, I see the water in bottom still there. I'm looking at it thinking, wait, what's going on? I know we're going to get dived now. Spike, Hex, the blood grenade comes. Seb's rotation back into mid lane, gathers up a kill. And OG, 2 to the good.
That is actually so big, because Invoker is not supposed to be winning against Tiny really this early on. And already getting this kill, Seb coming in with the rotation, it definitely helps a lot. Meanwhile, though, he hasn't focused on top lane that much on Seb. Meanwhile, like, Ogre is getting his solo laning time, but that means TA is free farming.
Yeah, top of the last hits. My DM's getting closer to that Vanguard. A good pull across. Seb's going to drag the majority of the wave into the troll camp. Let's see what Kiori can do here, just disrupting up the Lion. TA2000 doesn't want to step forward, doesn't want to be the aggressor. Just wants to hit creeps.
Yeah, and so does Ogre, man. He has 27 CS, doing pretty great for himself here.
Look at Tiger. Tiger just comes through the Twin Gate, walks past Tier 1, coming into fight. DM has already started things off on TA2000. Blood Grenade long range thrown in, and the Sunstrike is going to be there.
Beautiful.
BZM snipes him from across the map. Now Kiori's the one in trouble.
Ignite in a second.
Blood grenades everywhere. I love it. Chuck it at him. Tiger going to take down the Shadow Demon. 4-0 now. Laning stage spectacular from OG.
Blood Grenade really revolutionized like the early laning stage to be so much more dangerous. You think that you're safe, and then you realize, oh god damn, there's that damage over time and the slow, especially heroes like TA. But that was beautifully set up there. Sunstrike coming in. Everything just working out well there for them.
It's like everyone has an added Venomancer on their team. Like, just chuck a Gale at them. Get a bit more damage and slow going. Well, it looks like this was pinged out. Kiori did get a ward down. We'll see if OG can get the sentry, get the D ward. Seb is nearby. Guesses incorrectly. Ward a little deeper than he expected.
Not gonna find it, so good thing he took the time to run in as deep and plant that one. Of course, the 7-minute runes now. Both teams are scanning for it immediately, checking if the other team is coming in stealing. No steals, and it's going to be one picked up immediately here for OG.
Quest can fall back on it with Omar. Looks like he's heading that way. BZM, sort of the Treads, Wraithband. What is he going to go back into the Midas, or is this going to be one? You know, you mentioned Solar Crest on Ogre. Is this a Solar Crest Invoker kind of game?
I don't think so. I don't think so. No. I mean, he could. I think Invoker should probably try and go pretty greedy here, since he's Exort. He needs levels to get big Sunstrikes into that Chronosphere early. And speaking of bottom, we might see a Chrono soon.
Oh, straight onto Tiger. Heals himself up a little bit, but the vacuum back in will take him down. A 3-man Chrono into Sunstrike, though. Yuragi and BZM pairing up to snipe out Malik. Noob with zombies on him. Oh, he's slowed down to a crawl. They've got the stun. Lift back on Void. Is that going to help him enough? The Tiny still falls. OG 6-1 now. They've lost the Undying. Sure, there's a mark up there for Quest, but they're just rotating cores into their own deaths.
Yeah, this is amazing. Amazing start for OG. Getting a win on that fight there. The combination of Tombstone plus Chronosphere is very potent, because you give more time for those zombies to spawn. Even though they can't hit during the Chrono, afterwards, you just overrun. And meanwhile, in mid lane, BCM free farming, going for that Midas on his Invoker now as well. Pressuring mid tower, even with the DD rune. This is looking tough for Quest so far.
Yeah, they've got to find something. Like you said in the draft, this Tiny, he's got a lot of weight on his shoulders. He's the playmaker. Still quite distant from the Blink Dagger. Needs a fair couple of minutes to get to that point.
Yeah, he's working on it, but he didn't connect that first gank, and that's very painful. Tiny is a very gank-dependent hero. He also wants runes, and the rune control so far has been really good from OG. They're bringing heroes over. Look at Noob coming in here again. Wants to try. Second time for a gank.
I mean, OG really looking to kind of take this mid to late game. They've got double Midases. Invoker and the Faceless Void both going for them. As Seb getting caught out. Dire Vision up on the high ground. Yeah, he pings it out. He knows that it's up there. And he's kind of just sacrificing himself in that position, saying, hey, I'm gonna scout them out. I'm going to be a ward. I know there's 4 heroes down here. And like you said just a moment ago, BZM continues free farming. Ogre's up top sitting pretty.
And he's working on a Midas too. Yeah, adding even more greed here. I mean, that is the patch though. The patch is very greedy in general. You play side lanes very, very greedy. Pos 3 is more like an extra Pos 1 in this patch, the way I see it. It's gone from just be this aura building offlaner who does nothing else but that, to you need to also have big impact. You need to farm and get yourself a good game.
Oh, the Hex from Seb stops any kind of avalanche toss play. Noob needs to use a stun defensively. And OG just keep bringing these supports into every fight. Undying is still level 5, but that's fine. He's got level 3 Decay, level 2 Tombstone. I think Seb will be itching to use that Finger of Death, but I think they just smoked under the ward.
Yeah, they did. This rotation shouldn't work out as TA2000 is correctly backing off. Going for the Dragonlance, very stock standard for the carry TA here. And the scan also revealed the rotation. So he knows what he's doing here. Yes, refraction's up. Even though this looks kind of dangerous, I don't think you can kill him here. This is a little bit too much for 2 supports with just a Sunstrike to support. So they see him farming, but they can't do anything about it.
Yeah, really well read there by Quest. And the ward, the scan, the movement from TA2000, pretty spot on. But it does put OG in a position where they can rally around this DM Ogre, Catapult Wave, and the double Forge Spirits now from BZM. Should be able to dispatch with this tower reasonably quickly.
Yeah, no points in Bloodlust yet, but Ogre smacks pretty hard as well. 99 damage, got the gloves. They are whacking away at this tower. And meanwhile, of course, there's not too much else to do than just farm, so Quest, they're farming up the Ancient stack with the TA, moved her into a triangle where they have a lot of stacks on the big camp as well, waiting, so it's gonna be him farming towards that Deso. Seb on bottom, looking for anything here. Malik gets away though.
Anyone nearby? Anyone here? He's the OG radar system. He's going bing, bing. Doesn't have anything bounce back. Goes through the twin gate. Yeah, there's a little bit of room, you know, we can look at the map and think, okay, OG, they got some good ward coverage up top. They're controlling both twin gates, thinking about the way that Quest want to be moving around the map. But it's also, this lull gives a bit of space for Noob to get towards Blink.
Yep.
He should have it soon.
So, you know how this game is going to be decided, Gareth?
The first Blink jump?
The first was right. The first multicast here on Midas. Is it multicast Midas? Let's see it. Is it? Is it?
Come on, baby.
This is the game. Oh, we got...
There it is.
Okay, it's easy. OG won.
Game over.
Game over at this point, dude. If he gets the next one as well, 75% chance to win. It's like, it's already settled here.
There's no questioning it. It's done. I just feel sad. That's just like a morale boost as well. DM's probably, giggling to himself like, guys, multicast the first time. We're on a roll. They've got them all, right? Triple Midas is done. Yeah, Faceless Void, Invoker, and Ogre all have it ready.
Yeah,
My
so
goodness.
That's a big timer for Quest. And look at Quest. When you... Okay, so I have, a game or two on TA. So I know a few things about the hero.
Oh, yeah?
And Quest's lineup, it's a strange lineup because it's kind of greedy, but it's not really a late game lineup. And it's not a super early game lineup either. They have a power spike they will hit, and they need to punch that power spike as hard as they can. So the idea here is that TA gets her Deso, goes immediately for a blink afterwards, and then you just go. Everyone just goes at the enemy, and that's the game plan. You fight non-stop, hopefully you win the fights, push with the Deso TA, take Roche, and win the game. If the game goes really late here, there's no way that you're going to be winning against Chronosphere and Triple Midas Greed as a TA. You're not going to outcarry this. So they need to identify their power spike where they non-stop go. The first power spike is now, though. Blink Dagger on Tiny is coming out, and they can start fighting around him a lot, but TA still needs to work towards Deso plus Blink. That's going to be when she gets non-stopping into these fights too.
I mean, that Blink, it needs vision to really pay off. I've got a couple of wards down. I saw that one near Ancients that's about to expire. I've got one up in that northern jungle. But nothing that really sees the rest of OG down in the southern part of the map, or the top left corner where they're currently residing. I'll smoke up, play into the darkness.
Yeah. Sometimes it's good to see where the enemy aren't, and then you gank towards where they simply must be. But
the process of elimination.
Yeah.
Hello, Tiger. Gets the Tombstone and the Flesh Golem off. The Steel and the Decay, not exactly what Omar would have wanted. And Tiger just, what is he? He's 1v3? I guess technically he's like 1v5, really, if you look at where Quest are all standing.
Kind of, but he also is pretty confident that the enemy don't have vision on him. He has 2 sentries around, so his only reaction there, seeing Tiny walk up the cliff with a blink, breaking the smoke, is to insta-pop Tombstone and ulti and see what happens. And since people don't want to fight into Undying there, and even if they get him, it's not the worst thing ever. He's just zoning them right now, being a Giga Chad. I love this set on Undying as well. He's looking badass, dude.
He's monstrous. Look at him. The big brain in the jar.
This is some horror movie.
A massive gaping maw. Oh, and a second head. Look at that. He's got a friend.
He does.
Oh, yeah. So it's another one has a big tongue. He's a handsome fella, isn't he? I don't know what that arm's about.
This is intimidating moment. Packet loss for the players here. We're probably trying again. BZM gonna do a reconnect, it seems. But soon we should go high ping, high packet loss. Ouch, that doesn't sound ideal.
Yeah, hope we can get that sorted. And BZM's back in. Just a few quick resets. We'll see what can be done about it. But yeah, that's the blink reveal from Noob, not paying off. Now being chased around by this Undying. And OG don't need to do anything rash here, right? They don't need to react. They can just stay farming on their lanes. Like, if Tiger dies, he dies. Okay, nice. You get the kill on the Undying. You've shown your blink. What next, Quest?
I think Tiger feels a little bit bad about the pause that's coming in there, because that definitely gave them time to react to the intimidation by Undying and realize that, wait, wasn't he just alone? Let's just turn around and kill him. But, it is what it is. Next here, I think they need to stop the top farm.
Oh, the jump on Seb. They try to kill off Kaori, but this avalanche toss, disruption to stop them. DM going for the TP home. Successfully escapes. A good swing of momentum there for Quest, getting some kills from one side of the map to the other.
They need to do this. This is a preemptive move as well. If you take over top part of the map here a little bit as Quest, fight for that. 15 minutes, Roshan is going to be in the top area. You want to have Roche access, since TA is going to have Deso within 900 gold from now. So preparing by taking over this area and getting some wards down. Look at Kaori, already dropped an observer ward up for the Roche fight that is to come. This is very, very planning ahead type gameplay. I like what they're doing.
Yeah, setting up the map for themselves. Wisdom rune still over there on the right hand side. Needs to be gone and gathered up as Noob makes another move. Tosses Invoker back to his Forge Spirit. Tornado's out. DM's come in. BZM still alive. Turnaround play from OG, trying to get BZM out alive. In comes Tiger with Uragi, aiming for Malik's Darks here. Vacuums him up to the high ground. Tiger stuck atop the cliff, and DM, he's got Fire Blast ready, does have the range. The Surge piggied up Darks here, not fast enough, and a good Sunstrike there, allowing DM to claim the life of Malik.
Yeah, that was a great Sunstrike, and he also got away just barely on BZM. And time dilation, really the problem there for the Darks here. He tried to run away, but time dilation stops you from casting more of those surges, which is such a long cooldown. So going down now, again, OG winning fights at this stage of the game is super dangerous for quests, because OG are triple Midas greeting, and they're not really making moves across the map that much. Apart from bottom.
Without spending chrono, right? They win that fight top, they still have chrono if they need to use it bottom, which they will. A meatball, the blue bubble, chuck it on the TA and kill her off.
You know, he was probably actually dead without chrono there too on TA. He was in a really horrible spot, seeing both Invoker and Faceless Void. But if it's a TA, just make sure he dies. Commit your ultis. Get that kill.
Seb getting a taste of his own medicine. Rubik's got some pretty nice spells to steal in this game. Ether ends up for Omar as well, so extended range on top of that Arcane Supremacy.
Yeah, always feels good having the level 4 Earth Spike as well. Fantastic spell to steal. Like I said in drafting phase, they need more lockdown, so Rubik is one way to get that.
Well, Noob gonna use his OG here with 4 members rattling around. Such a beefy front line, it's hard to break past.
Wow, they
Tiger
actually
and DM just stand there.
Observer ward, but they did ping afterwards that there's an observer right there. So I think they know about it, but they need to push out mid in order to be able to get that D ward. And instead, they immediately find pick on this Faceless Void. They know he's farming.
I'm trying to move on Uragi, but he's dipped back into Ancients. Not going to spot him. Noob going to tank a couple of those shots for his buddy. Will get stunned up with a multicast from DM. Bit of a combo from the Invoker with a Cold Snap Meteor. Surge will allow Noob. Back on Uragi is Omar. He's the new target. Oh yeah, the time lock into Sunstrike. Invoker now 4-0 and 2 for BZM.
Going bad as well for the Rubik. He really wants to stay alive when he has a level 4 stun like that. It's a great spell to have, but he had to go in H9 with, saved his course, and ultimately had to pay for it with his life. Meanwhile, though, this sets up OG for maybe a Roche steal here. They know that the TA lineup wants to take Roche, but they're going to go for it. They have Undying.
Yeah. Now they're straight into the pit. This has been scanned. Quest knows what's going up, and they are TPing top with numbers. Every hero coming up here looking to contest as Roshan hits half HP.
Oh, they should be in time. It's not fast enough.
Gonna be spicy as Noob makes the jump onto the Ogre. Tosses him across. Uragi jump in to try and spot somebody out.
Chrono.
Quest gonna bide their time for now. And Roshan, well, he's just gonna be left to his own devices in the pit.
Yeah. Both teams very tentative here about how to start this. Curry, kind of the frontliner here. The ST has the man up. Tiny looking for anyone he can catch.
Yeah, it feels like OG in a situation where it's like, oh, we don't need to be here, but we don't want to allow Quest to get in the pit either.
It's a stalemate.
Noob. Yeah, until Noob makes the jump. Kills off Tiger, buyback immediately. Half HP Tiny getting blown up by Uragi. BZM picks up the kill as Malik runs in. Iron Shell surged up with the one-hit tap down. Uragi sniped by the TA-2000. Seb's Lion getting shredded as well. A double kill for Quest. And Roshan, looks like it belongs to them. OG are on the run. They might lose Tiger now. A dieback from the Undying. The side plate hits just whacking into him.
That was beautiful. TA-2000 got some really nice starting damage there. Get the chip damage in first on the Faceless Void. And then they surprised him with how they bursted him. Like, they don't have the best lockdown, and Tiny already jumped someone else. You'd think that it's impossible that they can actually just kill the Void like that, but a simple telekinesis level 1 was actually enough to lock him down, and then the Melt Strike finished. All because TA started focusing on trying to get him killed. And also, this comes back to the Forge Spirit was the target. He was sideblading off the Forge Spirit that BZM put there kind of giving TA a target to actually shoot his teammates there.
Yeah, and we saw there the observer showing the TA did more damage than the entirety of OG put together. It was like 4.5 compared to 4.3k damage. These Forge Spirits, they're honestly causing BZM some problems. He's getting tossed back to them, getting splashed off. It's down in that bottom right-hand corner. Sab's Lion found out by this Darkseer and TA. DM's on the run, but they're actually closing the net in around him. They're going fishing in the bottom jungle, and Noob's going to find him. Angles onto the Ogre, tosses him back into the TA, and this is that timing. You said it, Quest. They're looking for these team fights, getting a couple of swift victories, holding Aegis, winning, what, 2 fights in a row? Getting a couple of pickoffs? Now they're on tier 2s.
Yeah, fantastic timing. They have the Blink coming out with Aegis for TA in a dream position right now to just take over this game. It's now or never, though. I mean, yes, they're dominating, but you know that OG are going to take over this game if you let them. So they have to make it count. They have to get structures. That's why a tier 2 tower here is massive. And then they need to just play straight towards the next objective. The 3.5 minutes they have remaining on the Aegis, they need to make them count. You can't just go back to farming now.
Yeah, vitally important. Keep your foot down. Don't let your foot off the accelerator.
Yeah, and that's what we see. They go mid. Smoking up even. Not sure about going for a pick, but they're probably worried about the Chrono here as well. Shield Rune helps for Tiny, though. Very tanky.
Try and consider what options OG have to them. I got this pipe up on the Ogre, so a little tankier for him and his team. Noob makes the jump in again, though. Grabs up Seb. Noob stuck under this tier 3 tower, though. Half HP, disrupted up for now. He's under the ice wall, and a lot of damage coming his way. The surge out. Noob looking to play himself out of this dangerous spot. They kill off Seb, but Noob is dead. OG thinking about the chase forward now. Faceless Void does have Chrono. They might just leave Quest to disengage.
TA still wants to fight this. She has silence on the traps, by the way, so that's that shard.
And they've dropped the wall on DM. Lift up, drag him back into the illusions. Does stun up Malak on his way out.
Oh, the silence
comes Yuragi, silenced up, can't Chrono, he's dead. A double kill for the TA, and he's looking at BZM now. They're jumping from Omar, body blocking him. They've got reveal, they find a kill. Quest, my goodness.
Yeah, they knew what was coming there as well. That was not a coincidence. They saw the Void. They saw him hiding, trying to look for an angle to jump in. TA2000 had a trap, played around that trap, stood next to it, so that when Void goes in, definitely he wants to go on the TA, but he just got immediately silenced. Couldn't go on anything at all. And that's going to be double Wisdom Rune for them as well. Now taking over the enemy Ancients, with TA as well able to take the top tower very quickly here if she wants. This is fantastic for them. The only thing that's bad is that you killed Void so fast, he didn't even use his Chrono. So he still has Chrono, which is a little bit of a threat, but you also still have Aegis on TA. So they're farming all 4 Ancient camps right now, essentially. They're taking over the map in a very brutal way.
That's massive. Having that Void jumping in there is like, yeah. I'm going to get you.
He's going for a steal on the Tormentor. They know about it, though. They're coming over.
Yeah, Seb. Sending Forge Spirit up high ground to scout. Malak in a good spot there, hiding behind the trees. That'll be that.
That was good reaction by Seb. He was smoked, walked up towards the high ground, immediately unsmoked, and blinked the millisecond that he unsmoked. He blinked away from it, because if you waited, you could have died there.
And another lift up on DM. Hex on the TA, Vac back, wall drop. Ogre sitting at half HP, getting bashed down by his own illusion. Seb does die in the back to Omar, and it looks like DM is just about going to survive thanks to that pipe and vitality booster with a ton of 1 charges. And this doesn't force Quest to relinquish their position, though. They're still top pushing, they're still in the mid lane fighting. BZM down on the low ground, disrupted up, stunned and killed. He's dead for 46 seconds, and Quest, they're going high ground. Noob jumping into the tier 4 towers, tossing Ogre back into the middle of them. I mean, DM's done for.
It's all falling apart right now. They haven't been able to play around this BKB plus Faceless Void Chrono. Thought that he might come back and take a fight when he had BKB completed here, but we're just not seeing it, and they're getting away with it, man. Quest are just taking over everything. There's like 1 team fight left for OG, and if that doesn't work, it's disaster. They're waiting for Evoker. They want to respawn and try to get some Sunstrike plus Chronosphere combination. Aegis is gone now as well, so this is their chance to take a fight.
No time like the present for OG.
Yeah. future doesn't hold that much for them if they don't win this next fight.
Yeah. Getting absolutely flattened by Quest. Seb smoked up with a couple of his teammates. Smoke breaks there. And BZM going to wander forward, see if his one breaks as well. Quest yet again using these fogs and tree lines very well, allowing Noob to make the jump forward. There's the vacuum into the Earth Spike. Stolen, Yuragi dies, and BZM in trouble too. Tornado's out, but that's lights out for OG now. DM in trouble. Quest surround him. 5 men still alive, and they're going to get a wipe here. OG get hammered.
Man, I actually don't even know what I'm seeing. He just doesn't BKB. Maybe it's the ping or something, the issues. The players were mentioning that they have some packet or high ping issues, but he got silenced on Void there. Doesn't press the BKB and just gets vacuum comboed and then dies. That was for sure a moment you need to use it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is all falling apart, Gareth. This is completely over. I think for now, Quest are just gonna take this tower. They can get melee as well and then get away.
They just take down the base. And they've got BKB coming out for this Tiny now. Sunstrike gonna scout things out in the back, and the TA getting focused a little bit here with a blood grenade, and Yuragi with his BKB up does make the jump in. Chrono ready, but opting not to use it just yet. Aiming for Malik's dogs here, hoping for the bashers to come, and they will clear through Malik in the end. Quest on the run out. TA hexed up against the blink out thanks to refraction. And Kaori's help, of course, with that disruption.
That was some really good patience, actually, by Void. Very tempting to just chrono the TA there, but the SD was sitting right behind, ready to disrupt and save, so it actually wouldn't have worked out. So that's good patience, but it feels bad that the good play is to not use chrono. They haven't gotten enough done around the chrono in general this fight. Or the team.
Jeez. Well, Rubik does a lot of damage, and so does Noob. Tossing BZM around, Kaori's come in. He's got a blink dagger on the Shadow Demon. Catching up to the Invoker with a super long-range Earth Spike. BZM's dead for 45, and Yuragi, well, he's trying to stick on a target here, but it's so damn difficult. Noob is blinking around, finding his supports in the backline. Tiger gets picked off, and now the jump back in again. Rubik and Tiny holding hands, pairing up. Void silenced. He's dead to the Melt Strike. TA 2000 beyond godlike on this TA now as they move in for that additional lane of barracks. Now forget barracks, we're gonna go fountain diving, boys. Tiny's moving behind the throne. 2 supports jump in, zap into the lion. DM Zoga caught out, and it's just utter destruction. GG is called, and Quest with this timing hit 20 minutes in after an OG kind of domination, a lead the entirety of the game, just come out swinging with the item timings that you were talking about.
Yep, they hit the power spike, they hit it hard, and they took some good fights around it. The fight, Roche fight, was the deciding one, right? You took that fight and bursted down the void when you probably shouldn't have been able to already, but that TA shard, the silence, definitely helps greatly against him before the BKB or any form of Manta-style Dispel comes out. I think there were some moments where OG could have won team fights later on, but yeah, they hit this. There we see the fight, actually. So look at TA's positioning here, and look at how he plays. There, tags the Void with Psyblades from the Forge Spirit. So hits him low. He was silenced as well at first from the TA shard, and then dies to a simple disable. After that, the fight's over. You can't fight anymore. If you lose your Void without using a single chrono there, and yeah, TA was just running a show. Here we see the second one, of course. Baiting on the trap, stands next to the trap. Void jumps in, insta. Lockdown.
Call an ambulance, but not from me.
Yeah,
just turns around and destroys him. Yeah, I mean, also a situation, we kind of talked about Quest and their need for this gap closer, space creator, right? The Tiny was a great pickup in the end. But we've seen in these past couple of fights, it felt like OG were struggling to get into fights. They needed Ogre just to walk in there or Void to kind of time walk and show his positioning. Was that something they were lacking in their draft?
I mean, I think maybe lacking, but also maybe the approach. I don't know. I said that I wanted to see a Solar Crest, see the Ogre have a more active role of fighting. The Vanguard into Midas is very, very greedy. In the first 15 minutes this game, he was part of 2 kills as an offlaner. Like, you're not doing that much. You're hitting creeps, but if you're just trying to get to late game, then you need to be very careful about having one single bad fight like that flip the entire game upside down. I think if he played more of an active role, ganking around with the Lion plus the Undying, and then Sunstrike's pairing into that, you're actually threatening something. You're actively making Quest a bit worried about where they go on the map. But I felt like OG didn't really get too much out of this offlane Ogre. As much as I love the idea of offlane Ogre, I think it just didn't work out for them.
I fell flat a little bit. Yeah, it's quite easy to look at that end game score screen, point at the Midases, and go, that was the problem. But that's a choice the team and the players make, and then it's kind of executing off the back of that, making those decisions on how you're going to use this this window of, hey, they're going to be strong, we're going to be a little weaker because of the Midases. Do we slow things down? And I think Quest, props to them, exploited that timing very nicely. Game one in the books, Quest taking it. We'll have a break for about 10 minutes, I think, and come back with game number 2.
الحياة لحن، ولأننا جزء من مقطوعة عظيمة تحركنا، تلمسنا، تصنع من لحظاتنا ذكريات بديعة. لأن الوجبة، التجربة، المغامرة يعطيك بعد جديد في هيلتون الرياض.
All new Honor Magic 5 Pro. Freeze even fleeting emotions in just milliseconds. Take marvelous night shots with lightning-fast exposure. The display reveals more details in bright areas with an astonishingly long battery life that just keeps going. The latest flagship chipset brings you exceptional performance. Unleash the power of magic. Honor Magic 5 Pro.
to stand still. If I had a say where I'd run to, where I would lay, if time bent to my will, if I could decide where I should remain, where I would hide. If time were to stand still. Sure as the sun, come rain or shine, I know where I belong. Sure as the sun, come rain or shine, I know where I belong.
Welcome back to the Riyadh Masters. We're in the play-in stage, the pre-group stage here, as our first series of the day has already begun. A 1-0 lead for Quest with a pretty sick timing hit up against OG, who looked solid. The first 15 minutes, they were in the lead. They're triple Midases, aiming for late game, and Wildgate just all unraveled.
Yeah, I mean, that was so fast. OG, they were looking great. The early game was fantastic for them. They had a nice little transition out of it as well. Felt pretty good. They got the triple Midas, which is greedy. And when you greed, you can get punished. Quest, they sensed blood in the water. They got a good timing there, playing around the TA shard. Took a perfect fight where they bursted the void and then just steamrolled from there, really. It never stopped. They went together with all heroes and just took objectives and forced the issue. And looked like OG just couldn't get anything done. They were waiting for that big chrono team fight with a meatball from Invoker, but it just never happened. It never came, Gareth.
No, it didn't. And like even prior to like the game starting, it was an interesting draft as well. This back and forth of like preempting picks and countering stuff before it even come out. Undying first pick, you put that on a shelf. We know about him. But this Faceless Void first phase, making sure that he's going to have an okay time against this Darkseer who was picked to try and block these illusion carries. This Invoker comes... the Lion pick, right, was also doing the same thing, blocking illusion carries, and the TA pick comes out. We had some questions about the Rubik Shadow Demon support duo, and we saw the weaknesses in the first 15 minutes, but once they got Aether Lens, Blink Dagger, they were doing tremendous work.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't have time because the game was so quick, right, to shout out Omar enough for his Rubik plays there. He had some really clutch fights as well where he got, time walk from ability and then he would time walk in, steal the impale from Lion. Many times he had the Lion max level impale and he was making plays with it. You got that extra range, Arcane Supremacy, as well as the Aether Lens. That stun is connecting on people so far away. And it solved the issue that we discussed in the draft, that they didn't have great stuns and control. Didn't feel like they had an issue with that at all in any of these fights. Every fight was very clean. And maybe I'm undervaluing the power of that ST just defensively. Sitting back, just making sure TA isn't a valid target to all in on, because she just gets saved. You can't really Sunstrike Chrono combo, you can't Meatball combo, it's just a disruption. So you had to go on SD as well. It was a well-played game, though. Quest took the first one. We'll see if OG can bounce back here, or if it's going to be a 2-0.
We'll find out what's up. Draft looks like it's ready for us. We'll see if there's any adaptations, any changes. Game 1, the first phase bans were Snap, Veno, Enigma, and Broodmother. And I think the Snap and the Enigma are probably going to stay there. We'll see if the Broodmother slips through or something like that. We'll find out what the teams are prioritizing. Yeah, with these patches and changes and nerfs to some of these carries, we could easily have seen a Morphling slip into that game, but we're kind of ignored by both teams.
Yep, looks like it's going to be identical start to bans here. And Morphling, I think Morphling, lost a lot of value when the Aghanim became worse and Universal targeting got worse. He was very used against Universal heroes. Studies replaced, and in that, like, morphing Broodmother is one that was absolutely brutal because you morphed into Brood, who is a universal hero, and then you get the Insatiable Hunger, which gives percentage-based damage based on your base damage. And Morph just hits for like 600-700 damage so quickly. So, I think Morphling still has a place, but it's not going to be very high-rated overall, is what I suspect.
And was Techies touched at all? Because I feel like that's another hero that's very popular for both of these teams and was incredibly popular at Bali. I think he was the most contested overall.
Both teams fully ignored him in the first game. It was very weird. I'm pretty sure that he was completely ignored here. So we'll see. Maybe he's an option, or if they're going to go with the Rubik again, because so far it's looking like a mirror match of the last game. And okay. Are we in a time loop? Is Dormammu here? What's happening?
Just repeat. Just rewind and play again. I mean, this is where you change something, though, right? This is where you think, was Faceless Void the best option? Is there something else we can go for?
I mean, they might actually not change something because the lane was still very decent, and that part of the lane is that part is fine. But they're gonna go, okay, they changed it up. Morphling comes out, and that will be a strong hero against Darkseer as well. In general, Darkseer does not enjoy strong ranged heroes who can stay out of the Iron Shell and still deny him. And Morphling is pretty perfect for that. So while the hero is nerfed, still looks good here. However, this opens up for Quest to go for the same support duo that they did last game. The Rubik SD becomes even more powerful when you're against the Morphling. So maybe that's a hero that you could think about banning if you're OG, or we'll see if they target out core heroes again like last game.
10 seconds remaining.
Well, the Meepo's already gone. Ember Spirit still the respect from Quest. Yeah, it feels like Quest, one of these teams that they kind of lock onto an idea. They've got very well honed strategies, knowing what they need to ban against certain teams. They kind of stick to it. Ember and Doom.
Dire team ban.
Yeah,
the same as before, right? And then Beastmaster was the last one from Quest in the previous game.
Exactly, and quite possible that we see that again here as they need more lockdown on the side of OG, and Beastmaster would tick a lot of boxes here. It would be a nice fit. So yeah, they're going to ban him as well. But OG, they have forced, some changes here. They picked up the Morphling, they ban out the TA, so they don't want to have a full repeat, understandably, from last game where they did lose. So they need to, fix whatever went wrong. Was it the greed of the triple Midas? Was it the hero approach? They're changing up the heroes a bit. Phoenix
finally.
Okay.
I haven't had a chance to cast this yet, but I think it was Lacoste. Basically, everyone I've cast with, when we've talked about Quest, they've talked about Kaori Phoenix. And I've not been able to witness it in my own cast yet, so I'm kind of excited for this.
Yeah, there are some players out there who are very comfortable on heroes that are not really meta, and they're just waiting for a moment to be able to play it. And this is definitely one of those examples. It is, I would say, his best hero, as far as I know, from what I've seen from him. So it's been a while since I watched it, but it's a great hero to have here. Get some range damage and some control, and also combos very nicely with Darkseer. Darkseer can set up for a beautiful egg in a good way, or if you drop the egg and then people go in to try and kill it, Darkseer can come in, vac wall, you're not killing that egg anymore, and you're suddenly all in a compromised position. The two heroes operate very well together. You have to be a little bit careful sometimes, though. Morphling can use the Phoenix's existence to try and get out of situations by getting the Icarus dive. He can also very quickly kill the egg if he does get on it with the waveform and then his fast attacks. But I'm excited to see this. See how the Phoenix works.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering, like you said, if they just go for that Shadow Demon again, if Anti-Mage becomes a possibility into this Morphling. We'll see what they do later on down the line, because right now, OG with the double pick. Time to decide what they're going to be doing with Tiger, DM, and BZM.
Yeah.
And you know one of the lanes here at least, right? You know it's going to be Darkseer, Rubik. It's going to be Phoenix +1. Usually with a Phoenix, you want a melee carry, right?
Yeah, you do. You can take a ranged carry as well. It's not super important, but I think they're just waiting a little bit to find information here from OG. You're going to either see exactly what offlaner you're going to be laning against, or at least you'll find out what support he's going to be paired up with. Primal Beast comes out, of course. BZM, very happy to play that, so could be him, could be DM as well. Primal has flexibility between mid and off lane. It's a bit different how you want to play it, but I would suspect it's just BZM, no? But I don't know.
Yeah, it's like Primal Beast doesn't feel like he's got too many lane matchups where he like flat out loses. Like his base attack damage, his ability to rotate, guard runes, he's a real strong mid laner. Yeah,
it works. It works very well in this patch as a mid laner due to his tempo control. Primal Beast doesn't have any long cooldowns, and he can non-stop fight. And that's pretty much what I think is ideal for your mid heroes in the current patch, because your offlaners like to be greedy. Your carries love to be greedy; they always do. But then you need a hero that can fight together with the two supports. They picked Naga into Primal Beast. Okay. So they do get their illusion carry. It was banned out in the last game.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess the OG taking so long to decide what they wanted to do there. I'm just thinking about this Primal Beast, like that next level of, is this also a block pick? It's good for OG. It is flexible for them. Was it something that Quest could be looking at with a Darkseer Surge Ironshell Primal Beast? The flexibility for him could have been pretty strong too.
Yeah, I mean, it would be strong. It would be strong if they took that instead of the Phoenix. Could have been. Take Darkseer Primal Beast, and then have Rubik on the safe lane. Definitely playable. It's a bit of a cheesy lane, but I think OG getting the Enchanters here as well set themselves up to pretty strong lanes. Ench and Undying are both big lane winners. And meanwhile, Phoenix doesn't really dominate lanes that hard. It can be good, but it's not really like current Ench or Undying.
Yeah, it's much more of a, like we saw in game 1, right? That timing around team fights. You pick your fights, you make sure you win a couple, get that momentum going a little later into the game after lane stage is broken down. And they've got the combos to do it, like Song into Vacuum, Supernova. Maybe lacking a little bit in damage. They've got tons of control, tons of zonal area control for sure. Quest just needs a little bit of burst coming out of Noobs here on that last spot. That's where the Tiny and the Puck bands come into play. A Tide Hunter for OG, so that's going to be DM's grab up, and that moves Primal Beast pretty much guaranteed into the mid lane. And Quest with the last pick.
Yeah, Quest now have to react. I mean, there's two big chunky boys, and they have to deal with the Morphling as well here.
Necro.
It's honestly doable, but okay, they're gonna go with the Storm. More traditional approach here. There's not much lockdown. Look at their lineup on OG, man. There's Undying has no disable. Morphling pretty much no disable. Primal Beast, yeah, you have your ulti, but then it's just Ravage as well. So this Storm has a very, very free game. And Primal Beast disable is not even that great against Storm because he can just jump around. He can get away from it. I think this is a pretty good Storm game, and Noob could take over here.
Absolutely, especially again with these two supports being able to play from Fog, you kind of scout things out, get things started. Darkseer very good at pushing out, like both Darkseer and Naga very good at pushing out waves and opening that map space for the Storm as well, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's what you want. You want to have heroes that can deal with creep waves, so Storm can deal with heroes. That's what he wants to do. Play in the jungle, play towards heroes, and I think this draft looks strong from Quest. I would be pretty concerned here if I'm an OG fan, especially after what we saw last game, where I would say Quest didn't really have a draft advantage, but they ended up on top. Here, I would actually give them the edge. I think their draft looks very strong.
Yeah, I mean, in game one, we were maybe not worried. That's not the right way to look at it, but there were some concerns about how much Tiny had to do once he got his Blink Dagger, how many fights he had to take, how many pickoffs he needed to get going. Do we have the same concerns about BZM's Primal Beast? Like, he feels like the linchpin hero here for OG.
He is a bit, but it also comes down to how hard are you going to win the side lanes from the Undying and the Enchantress. If you dominate really hard on side lanes, and Primal Beast is not going to get destroyed mid or anything, he's going to be fine no matter what, I think, then he will sort of be able to just pick his fights. He doesn't have that stress element to it. But there is going to be a certain level of concern of not letting the Storm run away with this game once he gets going. So we'll see. Rune control is going to be really important, and I think that's going to be the thing they need to look towards.
Try and kill off that Storm, like, you know, that key moment, the classic. Oh, level 5 Storm. What if you died twice in a row? Let's get that going. We'll get ourselves into game 2 here, though. Is that on my screen? Oh yeah, there's a logo, the KFC bucket in the middle of my screen. Confused me for a second.
Yeah, are you feeling hungry, sir?
Oh, so hungry, man.
Yeah, I love some KFC, man. Whew. Yeah, you reminded me. Dying back to back reminded me of like TI5 Sumail getting ganked and dying like 10 times and then still just carrying the game.
Yeah.
That's absurd, man.
You've awoken the beast. You've pissed me off, and I want to crush you.
Yeah, I don't know. Some crazy games from back then, seeing him die. I think he had a game where he died like 5 times and still had a super early Bloodstone. I just scratched my head like, how did this happen?
I mean, that kid could do some wild stuff. Just manifest gold out of nowhere, make it appear in his pockets. Well, these 2 dire wards from Quest, one up near the Ancients northwest, and one down near that bottom rune spot.
Yeah. OG not planting 2 wards that oversee the same area this time, so they actually are controlling bottom very deep. I like that deep ward that they put on the lane bottom because that's going to reveal Darkseer, where he's hiding and where he's Iron Shelling the creeps. You know, he usually sits pretty far back on the lane. He's not going to be running all the way down. So that vision could be pretty useful for harassing him in the laning stage. Also, are they putting... They're not swapping it up, are they? They could put the Enchantress against Darkseer, because you can enchant off the Iron Shell and as well as the Surge. So if they want, they could use it. But I suspect it's just going to be Undying running safe lane still.
Yeah, we'll see what they do. They've got some options there. I guess that ward also potential Storm rotations. If he TPs in once he hits 6, you'll be able to see him arrive at that bottom tier 1.
Yeah. You know another skill that's dispellable that's very nice to dispel? You won't guess it, I think.
In this game?
Yes, in this game, there's an ability that's dispellable.
The Observer's hovering over Overload. That would have been my guess, because there's nothing else.
There's a mobility ability that's dispellable. That should give it away.
Surge?
No, actually not even that. It's Primal Beast Q, believe it or not. Actually, it says the Icarus Dive is also dispellable on the tooltip, but I think that's just the effect of it.
Yeah.
I think that's just the effect. However, Primal Beast Q is dispellable. You can,
like, it stops him?
Yes. If you slap a nullifier on this bad boy, he ain't moving. So
today I learned.
Viewers, if you play against Primal Beast by a nullifier,
waveform. Waveform dispel.
Yeah, I don't know about that, dude. Why?
Ball lightning does,
Yeah. But yeah, if you play against Primal Beast, just buy a Nullifier. That hard counters the hero. He can't move anymore.
Oh, wow.
Actually, super easy to deal with him. If you don't play against Primal Beast, you should also buy a Nullifier because it's just a fantastic item in this current patch. But that's a different story.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah,
You're going to onslaught in, are you? Nah, not happening.
There we go. My story kept us busy, and now Go when ready coming out from Noob. So thank you for listening to this random tidbit.
Told you a storm was coming.
Nice bit of... Hey, it's fact, not fiction as well, yeah. Nice bit of knowledge dropped.
I got many more.
We'll see if we can get ourselves started here for game 2.
Yeah.
You're just joining us, the Riyadh Masters play-ins. Quest leading 1-0. This is like the pre-group stage, heading into the main event.
Yeah. It's this is where the teams get the momentum, Gareth. Dota is a momentum-based game. It really is. If you start the ball, get it running, then you can just take off in some of these tournaments. We've seen so many teams just, find their groove and then crush everything. So getting these first few games, sure, you got to play a bit extra maybe, but it still can be very beneficial too.
Yeah, so who do we have? We had Liquid at Last Chance qualifiers last year. Had that same kind of momentum heading into TI proper. We had, I don't know, was it like Wings at a TI? We had
OG have done it, Wings did it.
Yeah.
There are many teams. And in general, how many lower bracket runs have we seen from different teams,
right.
TIs and so on? It's just about finding your groove and then get going. But we had 5 minutes or 5 seconds of gameplay there, and now we're gonna chill a bit again. Seems like
it's American football. 5 seconds of gameplay. Here's an advert.
Yeah. Would you like some KFC?
Where's Dr. Suleiman? He's the man we need. Fix things up for us. Right, it's the start of the game. The most important part of this is seeing how many blood grenades people have bought.
Oh yeah,
blood grenades, the most important item in the first 10 minutes of the match, in my opinion.
Who's ready to donate some blood? So Ange and Undying got one each, and we also see one on Rubik and one on Phoenix. Like how the blood grenade on Phoenix is sort of like thematic because you're already paying health to use your abilities. Now you just pay health to use an item too. Very good.
You have to add in even more damage over time.
Yeah, fantastic.
That's good stuff. And DM's tied on. What's he got queued up? So you're getting Bracer, Ring of Health. Is this a Meteor Hammer tied? Because that's kind of been what was shown at the Bali Major. Or is there like a different idea for this Tide Hunter?
I think Meteor Hammer is the strongest way to play Tide right now. You go off lane, Meteor Hammer, and just sit there, take the tier 1 tower very easily, and then you just have Meteor Hammer. It's not the best item to have maybe later on, but it's not the worst either. It's important to note that once you get some points in the Ravage, like level 1 Ravage into Meteor Hammer is pretty difficult to land. But once you get higher level, level 3 Ravage is 2.4 seconds. Meteor Hammer is only 2.5 seconds to land. So that gives you a 0.1 second to get out or you get chain stunned. And then you can also use the Aghanim's Shard to guarantee the chain stun. So Aghanim's Shard plus Meteor Hammer plus ulti, and you can triple stun someone. And
when you say someone, it's got to be Storm, right?
It's got to be Storm,
they need these stuns for Storm.
Someone. Could be a good game, by the way. We haven't talked too much about it, but could be a good game. If Phoenix gets off here and gets a chance to get the Aghanims, he could actually use it defensively to save people. Use it to try and fix up Storm, for instance, if it gets gone on. This is optimistic talk because usually Phoenixes don't get to aim for these big, ambitious items. You kind of make do with like one Spirit Vessel or something, but I think it would be a fantastic item this game.
Just one Spirit Vessel, a Radiance, and a Shiva's Guard, and the Hand of Midas to get there.
Just. You
talked about like the ways to deal with the Supernova. Morphling's still the primary guy who can get there on top of it, but Undying, Primal Beast, Tide, they're not going to be hitting the egg. The Vacuum you mentioned, going to be protecting it as well. This could be a good game for Kaori.
Yeah. Similarly, though, both teams have stuff that needs to be hit. There's also the Undying, of course, with the Tombstone. So you need to kill that. You have a Naga in your team. She's decent at it. Phoenix is pretty damn bad at killing the Tombstone. Darkseer is terrible at it. Rubik is okay, and then Storm has usually better things to do. He usually doesn't want to be standing auto-attacking a Tombstone. He has heroes to kill. So it's a bit
spells
tricky
to
for both
cast.
teams. Yeah.
A mana pool to try and deplete. I'm not sure what's up. We had the go when ready, and we're back into the pause.
Yeah.
See if the teams can get themselves back in and sort it out. Might have a tech issue or something. We'll find out what's going on.
I assume that they have communicated between each other why it's still paused here, because the teams just both said go when ready, and then we're back in a pause from the teams here. So I think they're just working on figuring out maybe more of the ping issues they had from last game.
Yeah, there it is. Seb's out of here. He's gone. Let's get the old man back in. In that game one, every time I saw Seb, and I'm thinking, his name is still Old G. I'm gonna say Old G by accident once at least.
Yeah.
Oh, another.
Here we go.
GWR.
Yeah, GWR. Let's go.
WCUID. There we go. Game 2. We can get cracking with it.
5 more seconds.
3, 2, 1.
Please no. Seems like both teams are actually committing this time. They're good. Whatever's the issue seems to have worked out, and we see the runes 2 for 2. Even split here. We want a fair fight, clean fight.
It's no longer like we're watching a Zelda Wind Waker speedrun. A good old super swim.
Yeah.
Get ourselves into lanes. And Tiger going to set up down bottom. He's already looking to bully people away. Pokes his head around the corner. One man Decay on Malik. Omar very wisely shifted over to the far right hand side. That's just me. Omar's job here to hit Uragi's Morphling as often as possible, frequently spamming out these Fade Bolts, secure the range creep. It's already very well done by Quest in this bottom lane.
Yeah, Uragi a bit uncomfortable here. I mean, he goes up and tries to harass away, but as we see top lane as well, trading going on here. Naga versus Tide. Not the most fun lane there for Naga. Gonna get anchor smashed a lot.
Yeah, a little upsetting for her. And Tiger's managed to drag a little bit of the creep wave back in front of this tier 1 tower for Uragi. Fade Bolt pretty annoying, but Tiger's giving chase onto Malik, who is still level 1 on this Darkseer. Decay is ready, and one more hit. Oh, Malik, he gets the level 2. Off he goes with the 1 charges. Tiger can't get the job finished off, but Malik, a little worse for wear in his bottom lane, going to have to hide in behind his tier 1 tower as the Blood Grenade. That's not going to finish him. He's got the tower regen on him.
Man, this is massive. If you look at mid lane right now, what's happening? The 7, 8, and 3 now, and Primal Beast has 4 CS, but he just got those. He was like 0 CS against 4 and 3 on Storm.
Wow.
Storm already has Bottle, and Primal Beast just purchased his. We're 145. I'm not sure he's getting his Bottle. He's gonna get his Bottle in time to take the rune, but he's having to play so defensively now because he lost all his HP, all his mana, and Storm is just dominating in this lane right now.
Yeah, he just can't play forward. He's spamming his taunt. Try and get in the head of Noob a little bit, but BZM, man, being handled in this mid lane. 2 minutes hits. Top water rune going to be there for Storm, and that is going to force the hand of BZM. Clear out a couple of these creeps and head down to bottom.
Yeah, he's going to be fine in the end, but this advantage here in the start really put Storm in a nice spot.
Malik taking a bit of a beating there from these adaptive strikes, and Tiger's presence in the lane always going to be very annoying. A good pull from Omar, going to try and reset this equilibrium. Get a little bit of space for that Darkseer.
Yeah.
So this is where all the action's been, right? Bottom and mid lane. Anything happening top? Have you peeked up into that top lane?
I have glanced at it. Top lane is, you know, kind of strange lane right now, and Seb has just left it. He focuses on stacking instead, stacking up the Ancient, stacking up the big camp at the same time here, leaving Tide to get solo experience, and he's also going to get the Lotus here, so both Lotus is secured for Radiant.
Some good stacks there from the Enchantress. Mid lane BZM again, just being handled by the Storm. 18 and 6 on Noob. Tiger chasing back with a couple of zombies. Darkseer and Rubik both being harassed pretty heavily. Yeah, we'll see DM just sit up in this top lane. Not really too bothered by anything.
Yeah, DM is going to be completely fine. I mean, he has the ring now and the bracer as well, so there's no real harassment you can do. As a Phoenix and as a Naga, you're never going to bring this Tide too low. Well, Tide also has to be very selective about how he uses his mana here, because he has no mana regen item yet. If he gets the Perseverance going, then of course he'll be fine.
Well, BZM and Noob, they're really on a knife's edge, towing the line between life and death.
Yeah.
4 minutes going to hit, so they're both going to trade out the water runes. Or maybe not, because Kaori...
Oh, the steal, that's so massive. This forces BCM to go base, basically. He cannot stay here. He has to go run away, and Kaori even sends him back. Wait, Kaori?
He's going for the dive into tier 1 and getting first blood. No way he survives here. 8 stick charge. He's fine. Doesn't even need to use them.
Wow, and yeah, not even dying to tower. He's actually gonna take the time to go base here. He could go base and then do a TP bottle refill. Or is he gonna stick around and use Tranquils? He doesn't have Tranquils. He's gonna wait. I thought he had Tranquils coming on the curve, but it's just the boots.
It's just a monumental victory in that mid lane. Storm already doing well, killing off the primal base beast. Yeah, he's back in base. My brain lagging.
Yeah. Primal Beast brought down. It's not usual to see a mid Primal Beast have 0 denies. This is like a destruction that's happening on mid lane. 28-11 versus 12 and 0. Look at this. He gets caught.
Oh,
a little bit early.
Onslaught back.
Yeah, a little bit early by Noob to use the W. He should probably just have waited for the onslaught there.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Yeah, catching him out. I mean, OG trying to get stuff down bottom. Yuragi and Tiger, they're in on top of Omar, but the Surge is there. The final bit of damage, just enough from the Undying to kill him. Meanwhile, up in that top jungle, Kaori, he's already spent his dive and Fiery Spirit, so Seb putting the pressure on him pretty hard with this Warpine Raider. Might be able to get the kill.
Yeah, this is where Seb needs to start having like big impact as an enchanter. So usually Eng, you want to dominate the early game, and top lane was not really contested at all. So Kaori coming in, making that kill on BZM. Now we need to start seeing Seb have some big impact himself. He's been stacking, of course, trying to prep for the Tide. I think we're going to see him continue to do that. But he really needs to throw a gank either towards the bottom lane or top lane. I would say mid lane, but it's too late. Storm is going to get level 6. No rotation came in before Storm level 6, and at that point, Eng can't gank him anymore.
Yeah, and then it feels like Storm has all the options, because you kind of feel like Primal Beast wants to rotate to get stuff done in the side lanes, and Storm can react to it, or Storm can be the first mover. He can be the one that gets into the side lanes and kicks things off, and maybe moving into that top lane, looking to help out the Naga. Kick the Tide Hunter out.
The Primal Beast in this game, he just wants anything, man. He's on food stamps. He wants boots right now. That's what he wants. If he could make a rotation, that would be great. But he is a full level behind almost. He's got plenty of experience. Disadvantage here to the Storm. So his level 6, not that close. I think he's just going to wait level 6, get his boots, and then maybe he can look for a pick-off. But Storm is definitely going to have the best options here and choices. 6-minute power rune is going to dictate what happens, really. If you get a good rune on Storm, that could open up any kill on the map.
Right. Yeah, and there's like the third option as well, right? If BZM wants to stay and try and weather things out in the mid lane to get that level 6, get boots, Storm just stays here, keeps that oppression up. So every time I look at that CS board, 32 and 12, monstrous numbers being put up by Noob.
Yeah, he's doing fantastic. I mean, he's farming more than a Morphling who's protected by an Undying against a lane that Morphling also is favoring, which is the Darkseer. So this is definitely absurd. He had a really great start, but Kaori coming in with that rune control top, it comes back to that. I said it in the pick phase. The rune control is going to be important this game, and we saw it. Usually it's not for the 4-minute rune. Usually it's the 6-minute rune. We see all the supports come over. But the value of taking away a water rune at the right time when the mid laners are trading low, I think we could have seen the same move made by Seb, but he wasn't there on his Eng. He was busy stacking, I believe.
Yeah, he's putting in the work, building up the Ancients and stuff, so it could be a fair amount of flash farm there. I guess the situation now, like, do you want to give it to DM, or is this something Primal Beast is going to fall back to? I guess they can cross that bridge when they get to it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yuragi also having a pretty solid time. 31 and 3, Morbid Mask already up, so he can sustain until the cows come home down in that bottom lane.
Yeah, We haven't seen him queue up a Falcon Blade as well, so interesting to see if he's going to go for that. Also, looking at his skill build, looks like he is putting points into the Adaptive Strike. That's why I thought that skilling up the Adaptive Strike after the nerf should be good, because it's only a level 1 Adaptive Strike that got nerfed. At level 4, it's still the same as before. But Theory crafted this with some other Morphling spammer, and he said just maxing waveform feels good too this patch. So apparently there are multiple ways to go about it.
Yeah, because we had, like, the majority of the time it was like level 2 attribute shift, then you're maxing out adaptive, right?
Yeah, you can get away with 1 point as well. Like in this game, you're against Darkseer. That's very slow damage. You don't have to worry that much. If you were against a more bursty lane, consisting of like a Skywrath and maybe an Axe or something, then maybe you want to have 2 points already to be able to shift quickly when needed. So yeah, it's a bit game dependent, but if you can get away with only 1 point, you happily max out adaptive as soon as possible.
All right, dump your stats into other cooler stuff. Things that do damage.
Yeah. I
shoot people.
I'm curious to see how Naga's impact in this game is going to be, by the way, because obviously the top lane is looking like a pretty good farm trade right now. It's just 2 core players being ignored by the supports. They're running around doing other stuff on the other part of the map. So Naga with free farm does get pretty strong, but there are some problematic heroes. The biggest problem for her is usually, I would say, Primal Beast, just clearing your illusions very fast, trampling around, or even just using ulti and illusions kind of just die. But with Primal Beast having such a poor game, Naga might take over even more. It's like all these small things in laning stage can set up how the game ships out.
Yeah. I mean, all of a sudden that Naga has a much better time. In game 1, it was quite simple to look at the TA and think, item timings, Deso, Dragonlance, getting to that Blink Dagger, this is what they're aiming for. With the Naga Siren, are we looking for these big 5-man team fights 25 minutes in? Is it item dependent on the Naga? Is she going to be like left alone while the rest of the team fights?
I want to see him just go for a rushed Manta style and farm up. We've seen many different builds, right? There was the Radiance build as well, and Naga with just farming, which I was never really a big fan of the Radiance before Manta. I think Naga can join in for fights, but mainly she's going to be facilitating the fights by pushing the creep waves so that the others can fight. I think it's going to be her key role.
Just keep the map on OG side of the river.
Yeah.
Keep all the creeps over there.
It's absurd, actually, how much of a difference you feel when you play Dota if you have creep waves like just a little bit farther back or not. The breathing room that you get, it's like lifting up your rib cage, to get some air flowing in. It's hold your arms above your head after a run, you can breathe better. Yeah. It's that type of feeling, like good stuff.
Tighten up that diaphragm.
Exactly.
Get the muscle working. Yeah, I mean, it just has so many knock-on effects. Push out these lanes, you've got more angles of ingress, more points where you can smoke into, run away from, process of elimination. You know the opponents aren't clearing that wave, they must be somewhere else. Might be smoked in behind us.
Mid lane is dangerous. BCM is low, level 6 Storm. He fake jumps a few times there. Not going to commit to a dive as the Primal Beast backed out far enough, but auto refill as well. Put Storm at enough mana that he could kill Primal Beast, and Primal Beast has to back away. This feels terrible. Creep Wave is under his tower, and he's going to base right now. This is not going to help his disadvantage in experience. Level 5 versus level 6, and then leaving all this.
Yeah, it's a catapult wave with double range creep here as well. Primal Beast's going to have to TP in to try and mitigate some of that damage arriving on his objectives. OG, they have moved a couple of supports here to guard up the 6-minute rune. Tiger's down at the bottom spot, standing by a haste. Should be able to take it. Make sure the noob won't be able to bottle that. And now you've kind of, relinquished the side lanes a little bit here. Darkseer gets a bit of time bottom. Naga's pretty happy top. Noob just keeps it going on BZM. Again, a pretty early Vortex there, and Omar not quite near enough to get that telekinesis to stop the onslaught.
Yeah, even if they did, I think with Tiger coming in there as well, he's there to protect. Don't think they would get the kill, but again, the Primal Beast not having a fun time. Meanwhile, top lane, DM, we haven't talked too much about him this game, but going for that Meteor Hammer that we discussed early on. He is very close to it. He needs 300 gold, and then he can start actually threatening the tower here. 7-minute wisdoms. They're fighting. double rune for the side of Quest. Have I lost my friend, Garrett?
Hello?
Hello?
I'm back.
Hi. Welcome back.
I don't know what just happened, but I am now back. Apologies for that.
You're
Just
welcome.
dropped out of existence for 5 seconds there. But, wait, did I miss anything?
Some temporal shift. You missed that double rune went the way of Quest here, but they get some experience advantage not only on the mid, but also on their supports now. Gonna be happy.
And Primal Beast getting a bit of damage onto Noob with his Pulverize. Finally giving as good as he's been taking for the first 8 minutes of the game.
Yeah, he needs this so badly, and he's trying to get access to the 8-minute rune as well. Rune control, ever so important. We see supports coming over for it, wards being dropped, and these wards were spotted there by Omar. So D-ward by Taiga coming in.
And he does get lifted up back in towards Noob. And kill off the sentry as well, so they keep the Observer ward alive for now. And Tiger with a tombstone drop down, trying to guard this 8-minute room. There's a shield for Noob, and he kills him off, and dying gone. Tombstone claimed. Free money for Quest. Omar grabbing a nice chunk of change there. He's going to get chased down by the Morphling, though. Oh, he's got raindrops and 1 charges. Yeah, Yuragi realizes it's not worth his time and effort to chase it down. Just leave it to Seb. But it's a swift TP from Omar's Rubik.
Yeah, it's too much work for Morphling. Back to farming. Doesn't want to join that. But still, good kill there for Noob. And nice little play trying to protect the wards as long as possible. As Taiga finally kind of come back here and get de-warding done together with Seb. So they get rid of the Observer, and now they can try and make plays from there. They also did a nice little bottle refill, TPing in for the Primal Beasts. Up tower, slowly going down here as DM has that Meteor Hammer, and we're going to see him pull the creeps over. Not going to stack the creeps for a Meteor Hammer, just pulling them over for medium camp. Of course, has level 3 anchor, so it doesn't need the meme on the creeps.
I'm going to booting this Naga out of lane now. Tier 2000 going to head into jungle. Try and get her farm that way. And the tier 1 tower denies there from Kaori. Does remove it from OG's hands.
Yeah, at least denying some of the gold, but you still lose access to this part of the map. Speaking of, look at Malik just farming behind enemy lines here as Taiga says, what the hell are you doing here? Chase him after, but this is not the biggest threat. Like, you can keep farming actually as a Darkseer.
Yeah, now he's got double Iron Shell. Actually turns to fight Tiger with the help of the neutral creeps.
Well, share experience at least, you know. Taiga is here for the ride.
What's yours is mine. Yeah, Malik pretty happy. Just staying down there. A D-ward in the mid lane from Omar. Comes back in. The never-ending battle of sentries in the mid lane continues. As OG are kind of looking at this mid lane thinking, hey, we've got Primal Beast, Undying, and the Enchantress all around in the vicinity. And Seb, he wanted to guard that bottom rune, but he's going to get blown up for his positioning.
Yeah, only level 5, doesn't have the ulti yet, so he goes down so fast. BCM finally does get a rune, though. He gets his hands on an illusion rune there. Gonna be nice for him, but not really the best rune ever. You'd rather have a haste, DD, arcane, probably even an Invis rune maybe over
Literally
this.
any other rune.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, probably even a regen rune would feel better, because then you could play aggressive and just back up, but he got a rune, man. Sometimes you can't really choose what you get.
Step 1, get a rune. Feel happy about it.
Step 2, get mid tower here as Quest are sieging a bit with the siege creep.
Yeah, second catapult wave for them. Tower dropping pretty low. Noob having to expend a fair amount of mana though to get away from DM, who has plonked himself in front of this mid tier 1 to defend it. That threat of Ravage and Meteor Hammer, definitely something that Quest have to be wary of.
Yeah, and that's also gonna start tearing down this mid tower, because he's here with the Meteor Hammer on Tide. It's pretty obvious what his intentions are. He is looking to get the Meme Hammer. Of course, Telekinesis is ready to cancel it though, so Omar is just gonna cancel that out. But Telekinesis has a longer cooldown than Meteor Hammer, so you can use it again. Top.
And get the job done eventually.
Kaori.
He lost his courier with a fair amount of items on it, but he will sunray up off the map. BZM tries to follow him, but the dinosaur's too fat. Gets dropped off the cliff, and Kaori using that little mechanic that we've known and loved for quite some time. Oh, Yuragi down bottom. Taking a hefty hit from Malik's Darkseer wall.
Yes, I love seeing someone cruise off the entire map and then just TP out. Feels great. I miss Spectres doing that all the time as well. Just run out, you know, disappear. Bat Riders.
Just exceptional stuff.
Looks like he's going for a Hex first, I don't care worries. So going for the greedy play, you could say, of just holding on for a big item later on.
Meteor Hammer again mid. We've seen this so much. There's like Pure at the Bali Major, a bunch of other players. 3-3 picking up this Tide Hunter. Just going top tier 1, systematic into mid. Plant yourself in front of objectives. And you're forcing the hand of your opponents to make that choice. Like, do we put a hero there to kind of match and meet this to stop the waves coming in? Do we try and make plays on other sides of the map? And this gives that a little bit of room. You know, BZM and Tiger clearing out ancient camps, all because this Tide Hunter is a sticking point. He is a really irritating force on the map to be reckoned with by Quest.
I'm watching the small plays happen. So mid lane, he used Gush on Rubik, then ran around, hid behind the trees, and then meme hammered the tower. Rubik, too slow from the Gush, couldn't get around to cancel with the lift, and then he hits him with a haha voice chat afterwards. So DM is having some fun trying to bring this tower down on mid.
Wheeling himself around these situations. Storm Spirit spots out Tiger, but BZM is here. Pops out of Invis, pulverized down, Storm stunned, gets blown up. Uragi, he'll claim the life of Noob.
Wow.
That's looking good for OG.
He was very alone there on Storm. I mean, playing that aggressively when he had the vision as well before on the Morphling being nearby. He didn't expect the Primal Beast and suddenly goes down very quickly to that. Chain stun, of course, with the Morph.
Malik just dropping the walls on Uragi whenever he can. Create these morphling illusions. There can be only one of us. Uragi kills it.
Yeah.
Defend his tier 1 for as long as possible.
The illusions are very strong if you can keep them alive, but he uses Adaptive Strike to kill the illusion as fast as possible as well inside of Uragi, so he realizes doesn't want more of them.
Kind of interesting the state of Dota we're in nowadays, because I think back, and a phrase we used to use quite a lot is like, laning phase is breaking down. Everyone's starting to rotate and move around. And sure, we've had that in this game. Top lane broke down, moved into mid. But bottom lane is still in the laning stage. It's 14 minutes in. Morphling and Darkseer are still in this 1v1. Tier 1 tower still up.
Pretty
laning
much.
Away.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't have a reason to leave the lane, you want to stay and protect your tier 1 tower. And Morphling is doing a good job holding it. It does get increasingly dangerous to stay here for him, though. But there's not that many things that can kill him. Storm has his Witchblade now and has a DD rune, so it could get a bit dicey if they decide to dive him. Sees the people.
We'll have some backup arriving. Oh, Uragi straight into vision. Oh, gets the waveform off. Shifted strength a little bit, and now the onslaught forward. BZM aiming for Malik. Pops the mech. The adaptive strike going to push him out as the Song of the Sirens there with the supernova. Comboing up with this Naga Phoenix, trying to land it onto Tiger here. The Tide Hunter over the Ravage, connects on the Darkseer and the Phoenix, stunning them up. Malik running back away as Noob. He'll turn onto Tiger and kill him off. BZM with a second round of onslaught, charging in and trampling forward, but BZM's dead to Noob Storm. A double kill for him. Omar finally sniped out in the end, as Uragi, not too much left in the tank on this Morphling, can't stick around. DM and Seb on the run now. G2000's got the vision and snares up the Enchantress. And they should have the magic damage here to follow through on Seb. They know there's no more lockdown, no Ravage, no real stuns. And they don't want to dive too far just for a support kill with OG respawning quickly. Tiger, he's back here with the Meteor Hammer coming in. Naga Siren, she went too deep. Seb has baited her in. And there's the tip.
Yeah, and that's the problem with using the song for the combo. He can't keep playing this aggressively there. Played as though he still has the song TP out, but it's on cooldown and gets brought down in the end. I was gonna say that was a pretty good fight for them overall. They didn't lose the Storm. They, lost the Darkseer, but they got a kill on the Primal Beast. Pretty happy with how that went for them. Up Regen Rune. Storm gets his hand on it. Yeah.
He does. Dodges the Centaur Stomp at the same time. Yeah, just that little chase too far, right? The fight went well. The Ravage got spent. Quest all looking good. And then they decide to chase Seb.
Look at bottom tower, though. They're sieging up now using the Morphling and the Tide Hunter because they realize that there's no Phoenix Egg. They don't have the Darkseer wall and they don't have songs, so just start pushing tower.
Storm going forward on Tiger. Pretty free here for Noob to play aggressively. And with that Sunray over the top, we'll kill off him and his Tombstone. Omar's walked into a pretty dangerous neighborhood. I don't know what he was doing there. He walks up, stands there. He was channeling Onslaught. That's what was going on.
It changes name when he was casting it. So I was checking it. It's like Being Onslaught or something when you cast
really?
it. Or begin Onslaught, I guess.
Oh, Seb. Being cleared out in the mid lane. Quest picking up the pace again. Yeah, they've decided. Now it's the time to fight. Battling bottom, swinging into mid, looking for these tier 1s. And DM has been sat by this twin gate for about a minute now, popping his head back and forth.
Yeah,
trying to drag waves.
It's tough to stay mid. They're trying to go in on Morphling. He has Manta though.
Yeah, the waveform. Sunray, a little irritating, but tier 1 tower. Glyphed up for now by OG, holding back Quest. While this is all happening, Primal Beast has actually got on the tier 2 top lane. Seb with a very forward TP into mid. High ground vision there, going to give OG a little glimpse of what's going on across the river. Malik, impetus shots landing into the back of his head, but that's OG defending their mid tier 1.
Yeah, they're defending it pretty well, considering that they didn't have Primal Beast as well. Primal Beast even showing that he cannot be there by cutting the wave top and then TPing back home. Quest were trying to make a play with it, but they couldn't. Now the Arcane Rune Tide is sieging down mid. They smoke around. Not sure what they can find with this, because all of OG are still sticking very close together. All while this is happening though, Naga is enjoying so much space right now. He's opting to go for a Manta into Heart build. So going for a very defensive second item Heart here to get some HP in. Also allows him to be a bit more aggressive with the illusions. There's no great way to kill the illusions here for the side of OG. Obviously you can trample.
Well, that's the thing. Is the heart like a direct response to trample? Like, I make my illusions tanky now. You can't kill them.
I mean, it's the general thing for Naga, but doing its second item is just a sign that he's a little bit more disciplined, I guess you could say, than if he went for something like an Orchid or a Butterfly here to try and increase his farm rate as well as his farm kill potential.
DM trying to make his life a little more hellish. Killing off some illusions, kicking tier 2000 out of that bottom right corner. Meteor Hammer and Pipe. Halfway to Blink. Tide having a very, very solid game.
Yeah, he has that that Pipe, and there's the responding Greaves on the side of Darkseer, so both teams have a little bit of 5-man aura items.
Only 3 occult bracelets this game, sadly. We had 6 in the last game. Everyone choosing that item as their primary tier 1 choice.
If you don't pick Occult Bracelet in general, I mean, you better hope that it's a really good item that you're picking instead, because that's basically a tier 2 item. It's so strong.
It's so good. I have difficulty choosing between that and Trusty Shovel when I'm playing POS 5. I just love the shovel. Even late game, I just swapping it into my slot. Oh, it's a bounty rune. I'm prospecting with my kobold.
It's understandable. And we see Storm.
Jump on Seb. Yeah, I should be able to take him down even through the level 2 Nature's Attendants. They've got another couple of spells from Omar and Malik. Does take a little bit longer.
Oh, he managed to get Pulverized on mid lane, though, on Rubik. That was really nice, actually. And his Blink Pulverized level 2 on Rubik. This is very, very good. I mean, you're a level 10 hero casting a level 2 ulti. You're happy just with that. But Pulverized on Rubik is fantastic because of the extra range. It actually repositions the hero that you targeted to be closer to Rubik. So you can yoink people. It's a mini Batrider lasso.
That's pretty cool. I'm going to drag them back in, vacuum them across. Drift them all the way across the map.
True.
Primal Beast denying that mid tier 1, finally falling.
Yeah, I think Storm and Rubik's very strong. They're going together here for the Wisdom Rune play. They're a little bit too late though. The Wisdom Rune is already going to get snagged up early here by Seb, who's over there stacking the Ancients as well. So this was a nice idea, but they were just like 5 seconds too late to execute this.
Oh, like ships in the night, they pass by. Noob realizes it's already gone. And OG, they're in the pit.
Gotta use your Gush and your Undying. Got some very good things here for taking Roche fast, and of course Morphling has more than enough damage to bring this down. Do they realize they're smoking over? They definitely had wards that saw them in this area, so...
They know something's not quite right. BZM gathering Lotuses on the right-hand side. And TA2000 with a song coming in. Tombstone looks like it might be focused. Supernova's dropped by the Phoenix as well. Bash from the Roshan. The Supernova's going to land as the song ends, so still well timed by Quest. Malik's wall is down, but a scrappy fight Quest are struggling here. Malik's getting blown up. They've taken down the Darkseer. Naga's got to get the hell out of here. And Storm Spirit hasn't really made a mark in this. You're right, they have lost BZM. The Primal Beast is gone. And now another jump in, Noob. This is where he can show things off. Tiger getting blown up. Uragi back in on top of the Storm. Trying to battle with Noob and TA2000. But Noob is back up to high ground. Balling away from the Imto shots. And Uragi looking to stand his ground against the Naga Siren. But it's easier said than done. So Roshan for now halted. A buyback from the Undying. But in comes Quest again for round 3 of this fight. But Uragi says absolutely not. Waveforms forward aggressively. And with Seb, they blow them up. Both support's gone, and Noob, he's going to spend all of his mana to get a bit of distance. TA2000 can try and hold him back, but he's so slow on the Storm, the Tide, and Enchantress, they're moving forward to kill him off.
Oh boy, they lost so much. I mean, yeah, a buyback came out from Undying, but who cares? He is so happy with this. Taiga even got the kill on Noob, so he got paid back for that that buyback that he used. Fantastic fight there overall for OG. A lot of it comes down to when Naga ran in there, feeling very confident and strong with her heart. Her supports also followed along. They ran in with both Terori and Omar as though they are equally unkillable. OG said, nah, we just waveform forward, kill both the supports, and it doesn't matter how tanky your Naga is. She doesn't have any DPS yet. The Heart Naga doesn't really threaten to kill Morphling very quickly. That's why like Orchid would have been an option to maybe be more aggressive, but still, he has Manta Lincolns. Even that wouldn't work. Uragi now looking very unkillable. Manta Lincolns, Aegis of the Immortal. This is a Morphling ready to take over the game.
Oh, it sure is. Now, you know, OG, if they can weather out that first combo, that song into Supernova, they outlast it. They can keep these fights going for as long as possible. Like BZM dying, causing chaos in the backlines. It's not a massive deal if they can keep that Morphling alive and fighting. Yeah. BZM with that BKB and Blink Dagger now.
That's all he
needs. I saw Orchid soon on Enchantress, right?
Yeah, he has it. He has completed the entire thing, so they have some silence. Can be absolutely amazing against this lineup that they're playing into. Against Storm, obviously, he doesn't have a save for it yet. He is going BKB, but needs a lot of gold. And the Phoenix, also a great target to just use a simple silence on. So bottom now, tier 2 tower going down fast as we see the Morphling slapping it down. They're even going for the steal. So Tormentor gonna take it out here at 24 minutes.
And grab up a freebie shard. And this was a slight net worth lead for Quest. They've felt pretty good with Nagasaran farming the entire game. They were about 4k ahead not a couple of minutes ago now. It's all dead even.
They got lucky as well. They had a 50-50 for getting a shard that you actually care about. So either you get Little Friends, which is, well, not great. You get one more enchant creep, but Little Friends are not...
Garbaggio.
They're not useful here. But getting the Tombstone save, now he can grab allies. That shard was nerfed recently in a way, but it's still pretty damn good. The initial cast, you can cast it on a hero, and it eats the hero immediately. Other than that, the hero has to target to get in.
Oh, Malik! Chain stunned into oblivion. The tendrils into pulverized. Take him down.
They have really strong pick-off with these heroes now, with Morphling being online and ready. Tidehunter, he's been moving around the map for ages now.
And up top, Enchantress gets the silence down to the Storm Spirit. Seb taking a while to kill, but he's dead in the end, and this is going to force Quest Hand to Song and TP out. Deal with the illusions as they've been left there.
And they get out of the area. Storm still hanging around though, going for a kill pickup.
Yeah, trying to zip in onto BZM, but he gets off his BKB and the Pulverize. No follow-through stuns, so BZM a little bit of danger here, Glimmer. But Tiger has so many saves. Pavis, Glimmer, Tombstone's there as well if needs be. And BZM goes back in again. He's probably going to die for this with the Vortex out. Noob will kill him off and then ball TP away. Very aggressive from BZM there to kill the Phoenix.
That was very aggressive, and it cost him as well. He gave away over 800 golds to Quest there with his death, so not really worth it. Mid lane with CTM just not caring about these illusions at all. Just standing against the Naga illusions. I think Naga, her itemization might have been a mistake this game, because we see, even though she had a fantastic start and overall Quest were doing quite well, she only now completes Butterfly, and her DPS is still not really going to be sufficient to deal with Tidehunter or Morphling even.
Yeah, we've seen the previous fight just ignore the Naga, kill everybody else off. Focus Storm. Kill the Rubik.
Yeah.
Maybe take down the egg.
Probably gonna see the same game plan there. And by the way, speaking of egg. Alright, I was gonna talk about Phoenix, but then I just watched...
Eggchantress?
Eggchantress. Eggchantress is what I was gonna say. True, Gareth. Yeah, the Phoenix, the Eggman himself, has the Hex now completed. His first item at 27 minutes. He waited a long time for this item. Finally has it. They need to make some big plays around it. It's tricky though, because there's still Lincolns on the Morphling. You need to trigger it first, and Phoenix can't do it himself. So you need to pair up basically the Rubik and the Phoenix. But either way, you gotta wait out the Aegis at least.
That is one hell of an inventory, isn't it? The Phoenix with Tranquil's Scythe.
It looks so dead. It looks so empty, dude. I feel bad watching it, but...
It's wild.
Phoenix is the type of hero who can do this. In general, though, seeing all these empty inventory slots makes me feel bad. It's like, as a core player, it doesn't sit well with me.
Buy some branches, bro.
Fill in. I mean, it's post 27 minutes. Buy some Wraith Bands. A ton of armor, you know, get some stuff.
That's the play.
He knows what he's doing.
That's the voice you listen to. You listen to Waga, not me. I say branches. He says Wraith Bands.
Yeah, I mean, branches might be more affordable at least, as he's not too rich here. Top, we see a big move here coming out from OG, smoking up and portaling through.
And even glimmering pre-portal.
Yeah, want to sneak in. I mean, you can't really be that sneaky, because even in Fog of War, you see when the portal is channeling, so you should actually periodically just look at the portal, see if the enemy are going through it, even if it's Fog of War. Phoenix in dangerous territory here.
TA 2000 is going to slip away, though.
Radiant's middle tower.
It's going to be
So is
fine.
Kiori. Yeah, OG just grouping up, making sure there's no easy access here for Quest to move out across the map.
Radiant's
There's going to be smoke from them.
They're getting kind of just choked into the base here. They're doing a good job trying to kill off the illusions. They stopped the mid creep wave from being cut right now with the Primal Beast ulti. So that will give them some space, but here comes the smoke gang.
Yeah, they know there's no Aegis. Very important fight here for Quest.
See if they can hex this Morphling. Oh, he's already out.
He's already waveformed down.
And meanwhile, OG are just... Oh, goddamn you, Seb.
I'm sorry.
OG, yeah. Seb. They're just chilling. They're not really rushing here in this game. Seb has farmed up a Dragonlance with his Orchid and now upgrades to get the Hurricane Pike as well. And just kind of building up. And even taking out the Tormentor now. Getting themselves a shard over on Primal Beast. So Rock Throw is here. I mean, any AoE damage helps when you're against the Naga. You kind of just need more.
Oh, for sure. What's the situation heading into late game in this one?
I would definitely favor... I would probably favor Radiant, actually. Ench becomes pretty strong. Morphling can become really, really powerful if he gets the Aghanim Scepter against the Naga at some point as well. Turn into the Naga, you know, feels great. You have the Aghanim's upgraded End Snare as well at that point, which can go through BKB, so even if Storm was to go for that, would be a good solve. I don't know, I think I favor Radiant, but there's going to be a power spike that they'll play around instead, is more likely. Probably just going to get the Satanic on Morphling, and that's going to be when you fight. He's not too far away from it right now.
It's a pretty big departure from game one, the triple hands of Midas, looking to scale late game, into this one where they probably feel comfortable heading there.
Yeah, they're also very close, 400 gold away from Aghanim Scepter now and Primal Beast. So getting this Aghanims will be very useful for them. Getting way more AoE damage against the Naga. You can actually bring down the illusions. And
like, just look at bottom lane. Morphling is struggling to kill off illusions on his own. Needs Tide's help there.
Yeah, they're tough to kill. Naga was queuing up an Orchid. Oh, mid has Seb overstepped.
He's still pretty tanky, but with that punch and the Sunray, I do burn through the Bambi.
Normal Punch is not to be underestimated this game. Normal Punch against Morphling can be pretty powerful. It's a good counter because you get those super strong illusions and then immediately Wall of Replica and then Vacuum as well. Normal Punch also has True Strike, so you don't have to worry about the butterfly.
That's a guaranteed hit. BZM ensnared up. Naga, Rubik, and the rest of Quest arriving in on top of this Primal Beast, and he disappears pretty quickly. And this is all around a pretty speedy Roshan respawn as well, but Quest not bothered with that. They're looking at the enemy base, thinking, hey, 45 seconds, that's quite a window for us to go high ground and start chipping away at tier 3s.
Yeah, definitely. It's not looking too good for them as they're stuck in base here. And she's gonna respawn and help with the defense a little bit, but TA2000 just hitting high ground here. Not feeling too threatened.
Illusion stolen by Seb. Orchid out as well. Nargasaran still pretty happy with this. And at the same time, Storm chipping away at the mid tier 3.
And he gets an Arcane Rune spawning. They have a ward on it, so he's going to back up and go for that. Roche is up now. So the big play here is which team can angle for the next team fight and get themselves this Aegis guaranteed. OG do have the gem on Tidehunter, so at least they won't walk into some vision and get caught out. You can always check the clips and high grounds, or even find the Naga as he sneaks in with Silver Edge. But I still think Quest are in a better position for this Roche.
Yeah, I mean, Rubik's got attribute shift. The best position they could ever be in. What a spell.
Get some extra strength.
Just don't misclick. We all know that video.
Full agi?
Yeah.
Against an Invoker, Sunstrike?
Getting Sunstruck over and over again. Hello, Seb. Oh, goodbye, Seb. In with the Silver Edge and out with the Enchantress. Now, OG, decisions to be made. They go with the Tendrils and the onslaught forward, aiming for the Nargasaran, but she's so damn tanky. Supernova's out with the Sunray trying to swing around and come on top, but the Ravages are good and Malik's gone. Quest trying to fight around his Twin Gate, but OG deciding just to TP the hell out of here. DM wants to escape, but in comes the Rubik with a stolen Ravage. Oh, he's caught them all. Now you're in trouble, OG. They've hexed up the Morphling, trying to shift to strength. The Tendrils are coming, but the Morphling's dead. DM is stuck in between staircases here. Nowhere to run and nowhere to hide as OG get wiped.
Yeah, so the Morphling dying, do you know what he took damage from? He took 700 damage from Phoenix, 600 damage from Storm, okay, 600 damage from Naga. That's all fine and good. He took 3,100 damage from 26 auto attacks from Morphling. So, about that Darkseer countering Morphling, you know, like, laning stage, yeah, Morphling is happy, but post-laning stage, Darkseer smiles all the way to the bank. He got that Aghanim Scepter and the Wall of Replica. Those illusions just pour through the Morphling there.
Goodness gracious me. And then they've already prepped for this. The tier 3s are pretty low, so they just go straight back up high ground. Retreat to the statue.
This is pretty beautiful. I like that they don't even decide to go for the Roche. Just go deal damage. They identify the timing. You can get the bottom racks, get the mid racks. And now, how are you going to get out of the base even if you're Radiant? It's going to be very hard. You're against Naga and you lost your racks. And 35-minute Wisdom Rune is spawning. And Rubik's on top of the game here. He's taking it. Oh, they're fermenting the Wisdom Rune too? Oh boy. They got a fermented one on their side. Oh, that's good stuff right there, Gareth. That's the shit right there.
Oh, yes. Beautiful 30-day aged Wisdom Runes.
Fine year.
Yeah, I mean, Noob was pinging it out, saying, hey, go across those Wisdom Runes like, a minute and a half ago while they were pushing high ground. I've got everything planned out ahead. My God, Omar's Rubik, game 1 was pretty solid, pretty damn good. Game 2, showing this is to be feared. This man on Rubik, you cannot let him get away with this.
Yeah, debating with the Morphling. Everybody's here. They're getting scouted out, though.
Yeah, DM is very forward. In comes the Ravage again, though, and the Morphling's focused. Uragi's just disappeared off of my screen. DM stuck in the middle of the wall. The Vacuum Tiger's gone as well. And that might just be it for OG. TA2000 with a double kill and BZM being hounded by this Noob Storm. Straight onto the Primal Beast. Onslaught away, a bit of distance for him, but Malik surged up and the Storm's out of mana now. TA2000 does kill off Seb, but the rest of them really gunning for this Primal Beast to get another full team wipe.
What a surprise.
I feel like this Linken's gives you a false sense of security. They're baiting with the Morphling like, oh, they can't kill me. I have Linken's Manta BKB. It actually doesn't save you that much because Rubik has a Linken's Break and then an instant cast Disable right afterwards. He just Fade Bolt lifts, and that was the initiation. Then they follow up with a Hex from the Phoenix, and you're going to be dead before this combo is done. So, yeah, this game had a lot of things going well for OG, but it also fell apart really, really hard when it started going bad.
Yeah, and again, just Quest showing that they really can pick their moments so beautifully, you know, around item timings, positioning on the map. They just seem prepared for any given situation. They're ready to steal Wisdom Runes, to fight around Roshan, to just go into enemy jungle, getting them. And it's like getting to that point as well seems really crisp. Like they're getting farm out in these outer extremities of the map, making sure that Malik was farming all of the neutral camps on that southern side untouched. And then we come back to the draft thinking about this Darkseer, this Storm Spirit against no disables, had such a free game.
Yeah, definitely. And here we see some of the... this was the moment where the supports followed the Naga. Naga was running in with Heart. She was, sure she can't die, but then the supports ran forward and both of them died. This was actually one of the fights that Quest didn't do that well in when OG looked pretty strong here. But we also saw that swing around later in different ways. And this fight is where Morphling did 26 auto attacks to Morphling. We see him in the top of the screen. Yeah, it just stood there for a long time. I mean, he was attribute shifting to strength, and his HP wasn't moving. It was like, he's stuck, This is the amount of HP you have now. That's basically what the illusion guaranteed. There we see the final burst. That was a very quick pick-off.
Yeah, and, just disappears. I mean, Morphling got put in a wheelchair by Quest here. Just permanently disabled, getting cleared out by all the damage. Not a chance in hell.
It was absolutely fantastic the way they changed on and executed that final fight. But overall, I think they did a good job comboing the Phoenix ultis into the team fights in a good way. Using the song with the Phoenix ulti to kind of guarantee there's not enough time to kill it is creative. I haven't seen that used so much in a long time, honestly. And yeah, their execution looks good on the side of Quest Esports. I think you have to respect the Rubik. I agree with that. But also, you got to think about lane matchups a lot. This mid Primal Beast into Storm, it's a tough matchup. I've played Storm against Primal Beast, and I felt like this is super easy. This is not actually a hard matchup. But Noob destroyed BZM. BZM was so late to get even his first CS. And that makes the game hard to play. When your mid laner is the least farmed out of all cores at minute 10, something is not right.
Something went drastically wrong for them. Then all these, rune rotations, guarding the water runes, the active runes. Yeah. Quest made things so difficult for OG. And keeping that ball rolling from the Barley Major, showing that, even without ATF, who... was the big question mark? Are they going to have that same kind of momentum and style? Malik comes in, slots right in, looks perfectly comfortable and at ease here with the Quest boys, taking their first series 2-0. OG looking solid. They're still looking solid as Quest seem to be on this next level of finding game-winning moments. That that win condition, transferring a win condition from draft through lanes into mid-game and saying, right, we flick the switch and we go for it. Looking incredible. That rounds out the first series of the day, though. We'll have a quick break. I think it's like 15-20 minutes or so, and then we'll come back with OG against Beast